Today's little class tutorial is going to be on my hem stitch, and I probably do the hem stitch very similar to everybody else. But I wanted to show my students, this is the free towel pattern called Lizzie's Lazy Towels. The work, of course, is in the warp, not necessarily in the weft. We do change colors in the weft some, but this is a great beginner-friendly towel. But I wanted to show you when I put on my patterns numbers that I mean by hem stitch, for instance, a 2x1. What I mean by that is here, well, first of all, let me start with this. I do, as you can see, lots of little bundles because in 4 picks, all of my yarn is now where it needs to be for me to do my hem stitch and my weaving. You can do big bundles. It will be quicker to tie them up, but you may have to weave with a junk yarn or loom waste yarn, or I think some people put things in here. The reason why I like putting yarn like this in here is because when I wash this and I take this junk yarn out, it will cause this to be permanently wavy, which is really, really pretty because I love fringe. I love it so much I even now have it in my hair. So the pattern will tell you how many inches of plain weave that you're going to weave, but usually once I've done, a certain amount, I will start my hem stitch. And so let's get started with our hem stitch. So this pattern is going to call for a hem stitch 2x1. And what that means is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to separate this junky yarn. As a matter of fact, let me move this guy out over here. Here we go. Shoving all that down. So I'm going to go under, and okay, this is another thing. Most of the time, when I go to weave, and I'm going to do a hem stitch, I will take 3 times the amount of yarn and length, and I'll let it hang down, and that's what I use to do my hem stitch. So we'll pretend like I haven't joined this yarn yet. So I've got my yarn, and what I do is I unroll a bunch of the yarn, and then I'll go, okay, the width 1, 2, and 3, and then I will cut this, and this will be my tail hanging down, and that's what I'll do my hem stitch in, usually. Sometimes I'll do a decorative stitch, but I'll be taking this out because I'm using this big bright red, which is not at all complementary to my project, but I think you'll see it. So when I say 2x1, you're going to go under the first 2 yarns. Now, once again, your tail may be attached. You may not have a tail hanging out like this because it may be attached because you will have been weaving with it for a little bit. I'm going to go back under those same 2 yarns. If we want to, well, you know what I did? I cut this yarn too long. I cut it to be 3 times the width and out of habit, and guess what? I'm not doing it that long. I'm only going to do this a little bit, and then I'm going to take it out and use the real stuff. All right, so I'm going to go under those 2. Leaving this tail right here if you're doing a complementary color yarn and you just want to have fun and have your fringe have this beautiful accent color, you can go ahead and do that. And I go ahead and I just kind of tie it like in a little bow type of, not a bow, but like almost a little knot. It won't go anywhere. I'm keeping that sucker tight until I can weave that end in. Okay? So I went around once, I went around twice. I have made sure those 2 yarns are secure in there, and I'm going to go up 1. You see this row here? Let me push this up. All right. So I went around these 2. I went around those same 2 again, and then I'm going to go up 1 row, and I'm going to pull this up. Okay. I'm going to go straight down. My needle should be rubbing up against this yarn, and I'm going to go under the next 2. Okay. Now, we will not be going back around those same two again. We only did that when we start with a yarn that is not attached to our fabric. So I'm going to go back around those two, but I'm going to go up one. Does that make sense? Let's do this a bunch of times and it will make sense. And I'm going to I'm going to pull. And you know what? Let me get this light over here a little bit closer to me. Let's see if we can make that a little bit brighter without knocking the lamp over. Let's see. I don't know if that's going to help or not. All right. So I went around those two, went back around, and then I came up in the first row. I'm going straight down. My needle should touch that red yarn, and I'm going to go under the next 2 stitches. I'm going to go back around those same 2 stitches, but I'm going to pivot up into the first row, pulling taut. I'm going to take my needle and come back down, rubbing up against this yarn, go under the next 2 stitches, go back around those same 2 and up. So you see, if I had the right colors, I just love doing it this way. If I had the right colors where this blended in, you wouldn't really be able to see it. But that's just say I wanted to do this really pretty gold because I wanted this to stand out. It's very decorative. It's very beautiful. So I'm going to go under the next 2 stitches, back around those same 2, and pivot up into the first row. Back down, under the same 2 stitches, under those 2 stitches, back around those same stitches, and up into the first row. These little guys in here. And that's another thing. I like little bundles also because when I go to wrap this on, I don't have big bumps. And it just, you know what? Anything that helps my tension, I'm happy with that. It makes me happy. Back around those same 2, pivot up into my fabric. Pull it, and if you notice, I'm pulling my yarn up to kind of get it taut. And then I'm leaving it. It looks really tight there, but as I continue to do this, the tension just kind of stretches out between all of these little wraps, and it's just beautiful. So you can use this definitely as an embroidery technique that will add beauty to your project. You also can go, sometimes I'll say go 2 by 2, which means you would go under 2, and then you would go up 2. So this is our first row, and here is our second row. Now wait until you see this. This makes a very lovely little stitch. But you'll see the little leg a little bit more. Under 2, around those same 2, and up 2. There's row 1 and there's row 2. Same thing, straight back down. Whoops, sorry. I did that in the wrong place. I'm trying to do this with the camera and kind of sitting back, my head away from the camera so I don't knock the camera because my head's right behind my finger. As soon as I can't see real well, I guess I probably should put my reading glasses on. That may help. All right. So, much better. So I'm going to go straight back down, under 2, back around those 2, and up 2. And as you can see, it kind of gives you this little tick mark. There's tick marks here. They're little, but that's a tick mark. So I'm going to actually take this yarn off, and I'm going to do a different yarn that goes with this project. And when I get to the end over here, I'll show you how I end it. All right, I took the red off of here, and I have done it in this gold. And so I really wanted you to see that. A lot of times when you are hemming, you know how we've been going under 2, right? Well, there is only 1 left. So in that situation, I would probably just go under 3 And what happens is remember, well, a lot of you might be watching this that are not even doing this pattern because I'm going to post this on YouTube just as a hem stitch tutorial. So often in my warp, I use a much smaller yarn so that way I have 2 yarns going through each eye and each slot. Okay, so technically I have 2, 4, 6 yarns here. But we're going to pretend they're 3 yarns because if you were using a larger size that you're supposed to use, you would only have 3 yarns here. So in that situation, I'm actually going to do it the way I would do in that situation because probably most of you are using the larger yarns. So I would just go down and around all 3 of those, and then remember we're going to go up into our first row here. So when I go around and I come up into this first row, pulling taunt, I actually then go back around that very last, I'm going to pull this a little bit taunter here. Is that a word, taunter? Anyways, I go back around that very last warp. And if I really want to, I can put, well, let's just do it. It's your towels. Nobody's going to know. No one's going to be counting all the little, and say, oh my goodness, you have extra warp ends there. So I'm actually just going to make a little hoop and go through that. And if I pull that tight, when this washes, because this is cotton, it's going to bing, spring up, and then it's going to shrink down at the same time. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's ever known. I've made gazillions of towels and nobody knows. I've made shawls and I use this technique all the time. So in this situation, normally what I would do is my yarn that I'm hemming with is the same yarn that I'm weaving with. And so I would just weave this back through. I'm not going to do that here because it would make my warp look my hem stitch look kind of weird to have this going through. Sorry, I keep hitting this table. So what I'm going to do is after I take this off the loom, I'm going to put this on a sharp needle, and I'm going to actually back behind here, and I may have to show you. I'm just going to kind of loop it through the back loops of these gold, and then when I wash it, it will trap it in there. But it won't look like I have a woven part up here with it. So I hope that makes sense. I'll do more tutorials on this because, sometimes it just takes a while to see the certain one and for it to click. So thank you guys. Once again, this is the Lizzie's, what did I name this? I gotta look at the name. That's terrible. I just did this. Lizzie's Lazy Towels. And Lizzie's my oldest, and she is so not lazy, but I just thought that sounded kind of fun. All right, guys. Talk to you later.